Chapter 7. Moby what? It was the first day of Year 9. A brand new year. A brand new classroom. A brand new homeroom teacher. A brand new start. Hey, Lespuer, chuck us a red pen, will ya? You'd be good at chucking, wouldn't you, Lespuer? Same old Barry Bagsley. I mean, you certainly had to hand it to him. In his own way, he already had quite a creative touch with language. Naturally, I gave as good as I got by pretending to be busy arranging my books and hoping like hell that our teacher would arrive soon. She did. Miss Tarango. It would be pretty fair to say that none of us had ever had a teacher like Miss Tarango before. She was young, she was beautiful, she actually seemed happy to be there. I think Mum would have described her as bubbly. I liked her straight away. She had short, curly blonde hair, eyes that actually did sparkle, and dimples in her cheeks that appeared like magic whenever she smiled, which was often. She was also bright, friendly, and enthusiastic. I couldn't see her surviving a term. Good morning, boys. My name is Miss Tarango. I'm your new homeroom and English teacher. It's my first year of teaching, and you are my very first class. Make that a week. Already I could hear rumblings from the back corner, where Barry and his mates were holed up like a killer gang. Alright, let's quiet down so I can do the roll. I wouldn't mind doing a roll with her. Stifled laughter broke out from behind me. Miss Tarango fixed her smiling face on Barry Bagsley. I'm sorry, I missed that, she said pleasantly. Oh, nothing, miss, Barry Bagsley said with a smirk. I was just saying that doing the roll would be so good. The boys around him returned his smirk. Miss Tarango held Barry Bagsley with her clear blue eyes and smiled. The rest of us waited. The rest of us waited with some more. The rest of us wondered uneasily how much longer we were going to have to wait. The boys around Barry Bagsley lost their smirks. Miss Tarango remained silent and smiled like the cover shot of a glossy magazine. Barry Bagsley shifted a little in his seat. Well, thank you for your support. It's good to know we are of one mind. Now, let's get started, shall we? Let's see who we have here. Tom Appleby. Here, Miss. Ryan Babick. Here, Miss. Barry Bagsley. Yo! Miss Tarango smiled pleasantly once more, but a little of the sparkle seemed missing from her eyes. Barry, I think a simple here or present would be more appropriate and polite in the future. Thank you. The roll call continued again without incident until Ishmael. Now, is this your surname pronounced? Sir Ishmael? Yes, miss. He's lying, miss. It's Lesua, fishtail. Lesua. More laughter from behind me. Miss Tarango placed the roll on the desk in front of her. She spoke calmly and deliberately. Barry, I always try very hard to learn people's names and to pronounce them correctly. I expect the same from you and from everyone else in this class. Each one of us deserves to be treated with respect, and I won't tolerate anything less. Please remember that in the future, okay? Barry Bagsley sat silently. Miss Tarango returned to a list of names. Now, where was I? Yes, Ishmael. Then she stopped, looked up from the sheet, and smiled at me. You know, in fact, Ishmael's quite a famous name in English literature. What? Oh, no, don't say it. Please don't say it. Just read the next name on the roll. Just forget about it and go on, please. Did you know that Ishmael was the name of the hero of a very famous novel? Miss Tarango's face beamed enthusiastically at the class. The class stared back blankly like stunned rabbits caught in a blazing floodlight. Tried frantically to think of some way I could strangle Miss Tarango in front of 25 witnesses and make it look like an accident. Does anyone know the name of the famous novel with the main character of Ishmael in it? No, nobody knows. What's more, they don't care. Let's just move on and finish that roll call. No one? Well, what if I gave you a clue? It's not set in the present day. One of the main characters is the captain of a ship. Silence. Then a hand inched upwards. Yes? Is it Star Trek, miss? The class immediately erupted into laughter. It also secretly checked Mr. Rango's reaction on the off chance that the answer might just be correct. Mr. Rango laughed as if she appreciated the joke, but when she looked at Bill Kingsley, the author of the response, she knew that, sadly, there was no humour intended. It's Bill, isn't it? Well, not a bad effort, Bill. Well done for having a go. Maybe I should have said it was set on a sailing ship as opposed to a starship. Mr. Rango looked once more around the class. Any other offers? No? Well, who's heard of Moby Dick? Moby what, miss? Muffled sniggers. It was Barry Bagsley again. There was no way he could pass up an opportunity like this. Moby Dick by Herman Melville, Barry, Mr. Rango said casually. How many of you have heard the story of Captain Ahab and his quest for revenge against Moby Dick, the white whale that took off his leg? Most of the class raised a hand with varying degrees of certainty and enthusiasm. Bill Kingsley stared into the distance as if he already knew somewhere in a galaxy far, far away. But why was the whale called Moby Dick, miss? More sniggers, somewhat less muffles this time. Barry Bagsley was not going to be put off that easily. Mr. Rango appeared deep in thought, and replied deliberately, To be honest, I don't really know, Barry. Names can be important or symbolic in books. They often have a deeper meaning. But I'm just not sure if that's the case with the name Moby Dick. Perhaps Melville based it on an actual whale's name from historical records. Or perhaps it just seemed right to him. You know, just like your parents might have called you Barry, just because they thought you looked like a berry. She paused, then added as an afterthought. In the same way, I guess, they could have easily just have thought you looked like a dick. A stunned silence hit the room. What? What was that? What did she just say? If Miss Tarango had indeed intended to insult Barry Bagsley, she showed no sign of it and seemed blissfully unaware of the effect of her words. Before the class could react, she had continued on her cheery, smiling way. Still, it's an interesting question, Barry. Maybe you could do some research for homework or try reading the novel and see if you could find the answer there. And then maybe you'd like to report back to us in a class presentation. But for the moment, we'd better finish off the roll and go through the morning bulletin before we run out of time completely. There aren't many things that can shut Barry Bagsley up, but being bombarded by words like research, homework, reading, report, and class presentation certainly seemed to do the trick. After that, the rest of homeroom continued without interruption as Miss Tarango bustled energetically about completing various administration tasks and greeting everything and everyone with equal enthusiasm. All the while the class watched and wondered, but no one watched and wondered more intently than Barry Bagsley.